Hey, Aubrey, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Lindsay?
Good. Aubrey, what is something that you're grateful for?
Oh man, I am grateful for public school in the United States. I have met a couple of people who homeschool lately, so they are teaching their
Ah,
children school during the day at home, and I just don't understand. I could never.
that
I
would be a
love my
lot of
children, but it's
work.
really helpful to have some time to miss each other during the day. And so I'm
Yes.
impressed. Any parent who's patient enough to teach their children all day and then have them all weekend and then it couldn't be
Yeah.
me, but I'm impressed.
Impressive.
It is impressive.
You know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful for physical movement, being able to
Mm.
having my just being able to physically move because when I move, I feel better mentally. If I go for a walk, I feel better. So I'm grateful for my health.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Two
Yeah.
good things to be grateful for. We got a great
Yeah.
question about some of the words we use when expressing gratitude that do have a subtle difference. So I'm excited to dive into this today.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and read the question.
Okay.
This is from Asami from Tokyo, Japan. All right. I've been listening to your podcast for 7 years. Aubrey,
That's amazing.
that is awesome.
I
Oh my
love it.
gosh. We're so happy to have a 7-year listener. Impressive. All
Yes.
right. Thank you for answering some of my questions on the show before. Today, I have another question. I'm not sure about the difference between grateful and thankful. Also, what preposition should I use with grateful and thankful? I'd love to hear your clarification in a future episode. Thank you all so much. Best Asami. Beautiful.
I know I love this question. This is so fascinating on so many levels. First of all, this vocabulary is very interesting, but
Mhm.
also we want to be expressing gratitude, right? A great way to connect with
Yes.
others to express that you're grateful for them or grateful to them for something, but you do need the right vocab. You need to know which prepositions to use because the meaning will be slightly different.
Yeah, and not to mention, the neuroscience side of things. If we spend time expressing what we're grateful for, we build that muscle in our mind. The neurons come together, and then we start searching for other things we're grateful for, and it actually shifts your mindset. It makes you a happier person.
Absolutely.
It's yeah.
I feel that
Yes.
as I express, or if you fill out a gratitude journal, you feel
Yes.
your mindset shift
Yes.
to that
Yes.
attitude of gratitude we talk
It's
about. It's
it's
so
pretty
true.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, go ahead and hit the follow button right now to let us know that you're grateful for our show, right? And also to make sure you don't stop following All Ears English. Follow the show, get 5 episodes a week. All right? Good stuff.
Awesome. So let's answer the question here. First of all, often grateful and thankful are used interchangeably, but there
Mhm.
is a slight difference. So, first of all,
Yes.
thankful. How do we use thankful, Lindsay?
All right. So usually thankful refers to a less profound, more of a passing feeling of appreciation. It could be a response to a specific act or a benefit. Okay.
Exactly. Yes, right. Thankfulness
Mhm.
is sometimes focused more on a specific event or a person.
Mhm.
And then gratitude, we'll talk about that in a moment, that is more broad,
Yeah.
more appreciation for life in general, for like deeper things.
Okay. Like for Thanksgiving, right? We often say, "What are you thankful for today?" Right? But
Yes.
in that case, I feel like I could say I'm grateful for my family,
That's
my
where they are
children.
often used
Yeah.
interchangeably, right? So the
Mhm.
good news is you can pretty well use either or, and it is going to work, right? You're sharing your grateful, whichever you say, but native English speakers will often choose one or the other. So we're going to share why that is, why there is this slight difference today.
All right, let's get into it, Aubrey. Where do we start today?
Yeah. So when it comes to thankfulness, right, it's
Yeah.
usually expressed through words or actions. The other thing to think about is we talk about gratitude often being more like a mindset, someone's
Mm,
overall mindset. They're like grateful for the world and that's affecting how they're acting. And
yes.
thankfulness, we don't really talk about on such a broad scale, right? But so we're going to
Yeah.
first talk about thankful with some examples, keeping in mind what Lindsay said that often we can swap this out for grateful.
Yeah.
They're pretty interchangeable but with the different prepositions we use. So, first of all, thankful to. When would we say we're thankful to?
Yeah, so thankful to a person for something that they've done. So for example, I'm thankful to my son's teacher for helping him succeed. Okay.
Yeah, or he was thankful to his daughter for the birthday card. But
Yeah.
really, it's thankful to a person or even an organization. I'm thankful to this company. I'm thankful to this country. We can say that as well. Often we'll use grateful instead because those might be bigger feelings. But
Mm.
you could say thankful to. It's just something that has been done, either sort of generally by a country or something like that, or by a person.
Nice. I like it. Yeah. And then thankful to be something would be our next category. So he's thankful to be a part of their group.
Right? Or she was thankful to be working for such a good company. So this
Uh-huh.
often it's very similar, right? We're either thankful to a person for something or
Mhm.
we're thankful to be something. This might be an emotion. I'm
Mm.
thankful to be happy today. I'm thankful to be healthy today, mobile today, like you said, Lindsay.
Yes, I love it. And again, don't forget they can be interchanged for sure. So these are not hard and fast rules, but these are nice categories where we can start to imagine examples. Next one is thankful for something, like at the Thanksgiving dinner table. We might say, "What are you thankful for?" Right? Share
Mhm.
that. I'm
Exactly.
thankful for my neighbors. What else, Aubrey?
Yeah, or we're thankful for the nice weather. So it's
Mhm.
interesting when you're thinking about the prepositions. If you're talking about something specific a neighbor did, you'd say, I'm thankful to my next door neighbor for being such a good person, for being there
Mhm.
for me. And then if you're
Mhm.
talking more generally, I'm thankful for my neighbors in general.
Yes. Yeah. Well, so we can make our sentences a little bit more complex there, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Love it. Okay, Aubrey. Now let's dive into grateful. So, what is this and how is it different?
Yeah, grateful implies a deeper and more long lasting, more sustained sense of thankfulness, of appreciation. So that
Huh?
mindset of appreciation for something.
Okay. Yeah. So often we're saying this to a person. So we're grateful to a person for something they've done. For example, I'm grateful to my parents for all they've done for me. And yeah, if you really
Yeah.
reflect on, at least many people like think about what your parents have done for you over your lifetime is kind of amazing.
Yeah, right? It's so true, and this is where it does get interesting, the different when a native speaker would use grateful instead of thankful. So,
Mhm.
it would feel a little strange for me to say, "I'm thankful to my parents for all they've done for me," because that
Mhm.
does feel
Too
more
small?
momentary, not quite as big,
Okay.
and I don't think my mom would be like, "Thankful? Why aren't you saying grateful?" But there
No, no,
is
no.
this little bit of a
Yeah.
feeling that it's a smaller feeling, so I would
Yeah.
say grateful, always. I'm grateful to my parents for all they've done.
And this is a real nuance. So you could get
Yeah,
away with saying that. Like you said, your mom's not gonna say, "Oh, you're using
right,
that wrong."
right, no.
She's gonna say, "Oh, thank you for saying that," right? But so there's a nuance, but we like to share the nuances of English here on this show, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
right, and this is interesting because when I first started planning this episode, I was like, "Oh, they're interchangeable, they mean exactly the same thing." And then I started thinking about some of these examples and Googling when I'm seeing people saying like, "Oh,
Oh,
gratitude is this bigger feeling." And I
huh.
started really thinking about, would I say I'm thankful to my mom or grateful to my mom? And I'm like, I
Yeah.
agree that this
Yeah.
is grateful in general is used for bigger,
Yep.
more sustained appreciation, deeper, bigger
Sustained,
feelings.
deeper, bigger. And thankful is a little bit more superficial,
Yeah.
right? Little more
Yeah.
superficial. Yeah. What's one more example
Yeah, we
of
might
grateful?
say he said he's grateful to his friends for their support. So if he's really
Mhm.
going through something, grateful for this support. Yes, you could say thankful, but it does feel like a little bit of a smaller emotion.
Yeah, it's like if you say that to them, they're gonna feel that more deeply if you say the word grateful rather
Yeah.
than thankful, slightly. Yeah, I love it. Number 2, next one, grateful for something, right? I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for my health. What else, Aubrey?
Yeah, she's grateful for his honesty, right? All of
Mhm.
these bigger emotions. Yes, you could say I'm thankful for my parents, but grateful just feel it's very subtle. Does feel bigger.
Yeah, and I guess there would be times when it would be inappropriate to use like in these examples. So another example, I'm thankful you arrived early. If you said I'm grateful you arrived early, it's too big. The word's too big
Yeah.
for that scenario,
Good
right?
point, Lindsay, right?
Yeah.
Because this should
Mhm.
be sort of a fleeting you're thanking someone for something. It would be
Yes.
strange. Like, every time you're like, "Thanks, thank you," to be like,
Yeah.
"I'm grateful for you," would be
Yeah,
strange.
it's too much, it's too much. And
It's
you
just too
might
big.
make people just kinda step back, like, from you,
Yeah.
right? What else, Aubrey? What else do
And
we
then
need
we
to
just wanna point out that we often use these with no preposition at all, right?
Mhm.
"I'm
Mhm.
thankful you arrived early." "I'm
Mhm.
grateful you invited me," or "I'm grateful that you invited me." So
Okay.
often we don't have a preposition. We're just saying what we're grateful or thankful happened.
Yes. Yes. Wow. This is really nuanced. I love it. Let's do a role play and start to look at the differences one more time.
Okay.
So
And just
here,
like you mentioned, we often talk about
oh,
gratitude at Thanksgiving in the
that's
United States. So this is perfect. You and I are at a Thanksgiving dinner.
yep. It's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of the word thankful is Thanksgiving. Um,
Absolutely. It's good
all
we at
right.
least have one day to like really focus on it, even though we should be practicing
Every
gratitude throughout the year, right? All
yes, of course. All right,
right, I'll
Aubrey,
start us
let's do
here.
it.
Would anyone like to share something they're grateful for?
Well, Aubrey, I'm grateful to you for inviting me to this lovely dinner.
Oh, I'm thankful you came.
I'm also grateful to be surrounded by so many amazing friends.
Same. I'm grateful for all of you.
Nice. Maybe this was a friendsgiving. Like sometimes people
Yeah,
do
maybe.
friendsgivings, right? If maybe they can't travel to their family or they're not close to their friends become their family and they call it a friendsgiving.
Yeah,
So
we
fun.
did that in New York City. We were in New York
Yeah.
City for a couple of Thanksgivings, and our family was all very far, so we had a
Yeah.
Friendsgiving. It was very fun, except my husband was vegan, and we had to have a tofurkey. It was like a turkey made
Ah.
of tofu, and it was disgusting. No offense to anyone who loves tofurkey, it wasn't for me. Or
Interesting.
maybe I
Okay.
didn't prepare it
So
correctly.
so the whole group had to have tofurkey. It was your husband the only one that was
No,
vegan?
we did have
Uh,
a turkey as well for
oh,
others,
okay.
but I tried the tofurkey, and it did not win the
Oh,
competition of
yeah.
Thanksgiving entrees.
It's hard, it's hard. Oh, wow, that's so fun.
Funny.
Great. So, yeah, Friendsgivings are fun. I had one in Boston too. It's a
Nice.
very different vibe and dynamic than with your family, of course, so it's fun.
Yes.
What did we say here, Aubrey?
Yeah, I first said, would anyone like to share something they're grateful for? So this we're maybe sitting around the table. I'm like, oh, let's start saying what we're grateful for. Sometimes we do this at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
And it's interesting to choose grateful here. I'm sort of asking everyone to share like the bigger things we're grateful for, the bigger emotions, right? And of
Yeah.
course you could then just be like, oh, I'm thankful for this turkey, but you probably wouldn't say
Yeah.
grateful for the turkey, like for the food, because it's a bigger emotion. It's more
Yeah.
long lasting.
Grateful for you could get away with it, like we said, right? You could get
Yes.
away with it, but yeah, we kinda want our words to match our emotions or how
Right.
profound our statements are, right? That's what we go for at the B2, C1, C2 level, right? And
Right.
this
And
is
if you're
how to
going to
do
say
it.
like, "Ooh, I'm grateful for this wine," you might even be sort of trying to be funny, like
Yeah.
intentionally using a word that's for like bigger emotions,
Sure.
right? I'm sure we've all done that as well.
Mhm.
So you're going to hear natives use both as well. Native English speakers will use them quite interchangeably.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can reserve grateful a little more for bigger feelings and know that
Yeah.
you're going to get the tone right.
Mhm, and then I said, "Well, Aubrey, I'm grateful to you for inviting me to this lovely dinner. So I'm grateful to you. Grateful to you." Good.
Yes, and then I say, "Oh, I'm thankful you came." So this is with no preposition, right? I could say,
Mhm.
"I'm thankful that you came," or "I'm
Sure.
thankful to you for coming," but that gets really wordy. We'd probably be like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
thankful you came."
Yeah, good. And then I said, "I'm also grateful to be surrounded by so many amazing friends."
Yeah,
Yes.
another big emotion here, like, "I'm grateful for all of you great friends," and then I said,
Mhm.
"Same, I'm grateful for all of you too." So these are bigger emotions. The one time we use thankful here, it's like, "I'm thankful you came. Thanks for coming," is what that means,
Mm.
right? Which is
Mhm.
the kind of smaller, more fleeting thing.
Yeah, thanks is a little more fleeting than gratitude. I love it. Aubrey, what's our takeaway for today?
Well, I think expressing gratitude is one of the best ways to connect in English. Like you said,
Mhm.
Lindsay, it's also one of the best ways to have a positive mindset and stay in a positive headspace, but also
Mhm.
such a great way to connect, to just talk with someone about what each of you are grateful for.
Yeah, it really does. It's incredible. Just try it if you don't believe us. It really uplifts your heart. And then, like we said, there is neuroscience that proves that you then start searching for things that you're grateful for, and it does rewire your brain. There's been some
I
science
love that.
done on this in recent years. So,
Yeah. You
super
can't
interesting.
argue with neuroscience,
You
right?
can't, you can't.
And I've experienced it myself, so we
Yeah.
can confirm that is true.
Yes. All right. Great episode today, Aubrey. We'll talk to you very soon.
Yes, see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.